Okay, Bryan's here for support.
Absolutely.
Welcome to Harrow Podcast, on location, on cinema on location.
It's movie time.
Good support, Bryan.
There we go. We're at Trexler Park, and where is it? It's Allentown, and we're here with East Hall Corner.
Well, yeah,
Two of the members. There's three members. So first, just introduce yourselves first, 'cause we'll get a little intro going.
Yeah, so I'm Chubbs, commonly referred to as Chubbs. Ethan, some call me. I play the guitar in EHC. I wrote most of the lyrics for the album. And yeah, been a part of the band since the inception, as we all were. Formerly EFSM back in the rap phase, but now rocking out.
We'll have to go over that later.
We'll gloss over that.
Yeah.
Later.
But yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I'm Jake. I sing in the band. I wrote some of the lyrics. I did a lot of the artwork with the album, but yeah, lead vocalist. And yeah, we've also I've been there since the inception, the rap days with EFSM. I think we need Aidan to talk more about EFSM.
Okay. Well, is this your first venture into vocals, or were you doing that in this other band too?
We all kind of did.
Vocals.
Yeah, if you could call them vocals, if you could.
It's the first real project.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got it. And then who's missing? There's actually three members of the band, but we only have two right now.
There are Mr. Late himself, Aidan Mckee, lead drummer for the band. He also plays backing guitar on a lot of tracks.
And keyboards, programming.
Yeah, he's produced the rest of the album.
And some vocals too.
Some vocals.
Yeah,
vocals, yeah.
Some say,
track.
you know, whether it was supposed to be in on there or not.
You know what? Who knows? If
Who
you're the
knows,
producer, you're allowed to have a little bit of
a
leniency.
little creative control. I'm Kevin, and then I'm actually joined by Bryan, who I'm sharing a mic with.
Special guest appearances only. DM for details.
Okay. I feel like you're the Greg Turkington. Yeah, but you're the Greg Turkington. You know, like you keep calling yourself a co-host, and I.
Your 60-second soapbox. And this is.
All right, enough of that bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay, so we introduced the members. So I asked you guys to prep something, and I wanted to start with this because I think it would be fun. I don't know what the name meant, East Hall Corner.
Okay.
I want to know. Bryan, you already know.
Yes.
And I asked you to come up with. Well, Aidan can't tell his story, I guess, but I wanted you to come up with a few different things, and I can guess what the right name is based on the story, or what the right story is based on the name. What?
It's like two truths. It's like two truths and a lie, but like two lies and a truth.
Exactly. So let's hammer this out right now, because we can go no further until I understand.
All right.
Okay.
So the real story behind EHC, East Hall Corner, is in our house, my house, not their house, but
Wait, by the way, are you both telling different stories?
yeah.
All right,
And by the way, we should both begin with the real story is, so we're not giving it away.
Yeah.
But the real story is probably from ages like 8 to 15 in my house, our Wi-Fi was like really bad, but we had these neighbors that moved in next to our house that had a pool house on the side of their house that had like perfect Wi-Fi, and they foolishly had no password on that Wi-Fi, and their names were the Halls. And so there was this corner in my bedroom, and my brother's bedroom, where you could just get perfect access to their sweet free Wi-Fi, and that I think would probably encompass like 90% of our internet access was accessed from that corner, just huddling in a corner with an iPod Touch in hand and grinding away on whatever we were doing, Clash of Clans or Farmville was a big one.
Farmville?
But yeah, so that's the East Hall Corner. It's in the east of our house at the end of in the corner. And not a whole lot of meaning behind it. It was very hard to come up with a name, and so we were basically waiting for something that sounded good enough that it would pass off as something real and that we wouldn't have to explain a whole lot. But that's the inception behind it. We just thought that the name sounded cool enough to keep rolling.
Wow.
Yeah. Wi-Fi and the neighbor's Wi-Fi, which we stole.
Got it. And now they know.
And now they know. They moved out like 2 years ago. So yeah, they're gone. Possibly because of that.
What was the password?
Well, there's no password. That's why.
Oh,
that's
it
why
was
we
free.
stole it. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
that
free.
was
They left no lock on it.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right, so for starters, this is the real reason, or the real like reason behind the name. So like for aesthetic purposes, we wanted like a 3-letter abbreviation, you know, like Fall Out Boy is FOB, Pierce the Veil's PTV, stuff like that. So we wanted 3 letters. So over quarantine, which was kind of when most of the music got written, recorded, and everything, we were kind of trying to pass the time. So we would go into Aidan's basement and we would play Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, yeah.
And we're trying to beat it. And so like in the game, there's like a map with like different security cameras that you have to check, and the kind of the main, I guess the most notable like animatronic monster that like you have to not let kill you, I guess. He comes from the East Hall corner, so we were constantly having to check the camera for the East Hall corner.
Yeah, which
So that's-
just led to hours in that basement of shouting East Hall Corner.
Yeah, yeah, no, it was.
Whoever was playing inevitably wouldn't.
And there's a movie coming out too.
There
Oh,
is.
it already came out.
Oh, it already came out.
The Nick Cage one,
They're
right?
doing another
They're
one.
doing another.
Oh, they're
one.
doing another
Was,
one.
was the first
'Cause
one
that's not
good?
the
The
official.
Nick Cage one was epic. It's all
was
I can
really
say.
good.
I was a big fan of Willy's Wonderland.
It was, yeah.
I was a big fan. Yeah, I think it's Willy's or Wally's Wonderland. Either way, it was a great movie. Aiden
Yeah.
actually doesn't like it. Or thought
They
it was
couldn't actually call it Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
Well, but it was like a cheap knockoff. But they're gonna do a real FNAF movie, I think, soon. But
I
it's
sure
not-
like
hope
the
so.
creator of the game has been saying it for like
Yeah, Scott Cawthon. Yeah.
Yeah.
like
Gotcha.
4 years.
You already know what Bryan, you know what the story is, right?
Yeah.
I think it's that one. I think it's Jake's story. It's oh no, I was wrong. I think that was the cooler story.
You could say that.
So it's the Wi-Fi.
No, it's not.
No, it
It's
is.
not.
It's from
the
Five Nights at
Freddy's.
Freddy's. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go, Kevin.
Rock and roll.
Rock and roll. The Wi-Fi story. I could have believed that too. It was very believable.
What sort of
Yeah.
lunacy would
Yeah.
come up with?
And it was partially true.
Do you know-
Like,
do you know
it's-
Aiden's
it's
story?
not bad.
So Aiden's story was, which I think there's, like, it's partially true. Like, there's a little grain of truth. So in our previous project, we were using his dad. Aiden's dad is also a musician. So he's got a bunch of like old recording equipment, and we were using some of it for like our old stuff back in like, it was like 2016 or something like that. And we ended up, I think we broke one of the like recording devices. Like we broke some of the equipment. They have new equipment that we used, obviously, but and he was gonna tell you about how, you know, the album was about us apologizing to his dad.
The album title, Father Forgive Us.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense for EHC
Oh,
if you
yeah.
were thinking that.
Yeah, my bad. I love that he just was like, all right, first
Oh
like
no, that's definitely him.
Yeah, that's him.
Oh, okay.
I love that he's just like first interview of any kind for this band, first like press. And
Late.
It's just no.
Immediately late.
Just shirtless and late. Love it.
Yo.
What's up?
Aiden is pulling up.
Candy?
No shirt.
I did not. Okay. What shirt you got there?
Come on the other side.
What up, Aiden?
Throwback
Oh, the Thrill Village shirt.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Nice,
A
classic.
little bit of pandering, but
You get
Yeah,
brownie
it is,
points.
yeah.
Yeah, do you want
Here, come on the other side.
Just told your story.
yeah.
We told your Father
The
Forgive Us
Father
story.
Forgive Us story.
You mean
Yeah.
He told his story.
That's right. It made his story.
Yeah. Well, I guess, do you want to just do the other Father Forgive Us stories? We could.
Yeah, we could.
I just.
Oh,
told-
so
I-
there's stories about how the album was
Oh,
made?
yeah.
We
The album
yeah,
title,
there
yeah.
are because
the
that,
title.
yeah, that's kind of what we focus on. I just told Aiden's story, but
So that, and we know that one wasn't real.
Yeah.
So that's already.
It's not real. I imagine. Oh,
There's
yeah,
often
could be
more
true.
than one truth to every story.
there
That's
is.
true.
I mean, like I said, there's a kernel of truth to that, but that's not really why we called it.
That's true.
Father
By the
Forgive
way,
Us.
just to for the listeners out there, East Hall Corner just put out a new album, or is about to. By the time you hear this, it'll be out.
Yeah.
And it is called Father Forgive Us, and it's their debut album. We're going to talk more about it, but we're just going over the origins of some of these stories. Brian's taking some pictures right now.
Give me a panorama.
So Yeah. All right. Who wants to? Yeah. Give it to me. I want to take a guess of this.
All right, I'll do it. So the real story behind the album title, which is "Father Forgive Us," for all wondering, is I think it pretty well encapsulates what we wanted to do with the first album, of sort of centrally unifying our style and message as a band with our first album. So Father Forgive Us is like, it's a play on the Jesus on the cross, last words of Father forgive them, for they know not what they do. And it sort of encapsulated, I think, well, what we wanted to do, which was make music that had blatantly religious and Christian themes from the side of someone that is doubting their faith, as far as providing a counterbalance to mainstream Christian music, which is, apart from being bad, very positive laden with happiness, and the life of a Christian is perfect and it's joyous, and we wanted to provide a counterbalance to that in a way that still was consistent with a lot of the themes that we were dealing with. So we thought Father Forgive Us really encapsulated well that message of, instead of this poisonous positivity that we were recognizing, giving a more realistic flip of the mirror onto ourselves. As
it's interesting, but I don't buy it.
Really deep.
Oh,
You should probably add, like, you guys all met through your parents' church, right?
Yeah,
that's true.
That's where
Yeah.
you all met,
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's kind of.
So, do you want me to give the real story?
Yeah, I want the real story.
All right, so the real story. This is the really real story behind Father Forgive Us. So I guess I'll just preface it. Kevin, I know Bryan knows. Kevin, do you know the book I Kissed Dating Goodbye?
No.
Okay, so basically the TLDR of it. It's just like this book by this, like, I don't think he is anymore, but he's like uber conservative Christian author. It basically writing a book about how, like, people shouldn't date, they should court instead.
Yeah.
And it's really brainwashed and stupid. But so I found, like, I guess I forget if it's him or like his brother. They did like a blog post kind of starting out, and it was called Father Forgive Us, and it was basically just this really, like, stupid, like, brainwashed thing about, like, how Christian people need to, like, ask for forgiveness for, like, associating with culture. Like, I remember specifically one of them was, like, listening to rock music is unchristian because, like, loud guitars are bad, and like, you can only listen to, like, acoustic guitar and, like, classical piano, and
which we do have acoustic guitar on the album.
we do.
It is on there, yeah.
But yeah, we don't. So it's kind of poking fun at that, because it's, obviously we wrote a rock record, and we have, like, the song Susan, references dating, and there's
it references it.
It does, yeah.
More than dating.
Very, very
It's
low.
more than dating. Okay,
It's
all right,
more
listen.
syrupy than dating.
Listen, all right.
Well, I like that song. We're gonna get into it. But
Yeah,
we'll
we'll get into it. But yeah, so it's basically, it's poking fun at that, just because it's, that blog is so stupid, and, like, the thinking like that is so, like, tunnel visioned, and yeah.
Is it possible that it's a combination of you, Chubbs, and you?
I was gonna say we kind of chose very similar.
You did
similar
tell them the
stories.
true story already, right?
Yeah, we told them the true.
Yeah,
one
we
about
told
the
them your true
soundboard.
story.
Yeah, the true story.
The true soundboard story. Shout out to EFSM
Again, I gotta, Jake. Maybe it's just your acting skills, but I think that's the right.
That's what I was gonna say. Did my stumbling throw you off that much?
Was it that? It might have been on purpose.
Since
do you
Aidan
think,
is here,
Bryan?
though, I feel like just 30 seconds on EFSM would go a long way.
Yeah, just a real quick recap here.
Because there's a sort of
A recap of what happened, or like a live rap?
yeah.
I
You
feel
need
like
a
we do have
freestyle
to
real quick.
memorize.
Explain EFSM in 30 seconds. The
You can
history.
take more than
Let's
Just
give me a
EFSM
minute. Let's
now.
do a little 60
Alright, 1 minute.
second.
Go.
EFSM was a super group of a lot of kids in Allentown who did not know how to play instruments.
It was 4. It was
I
not
had
a lot of
I
kids,
had
it
a
was 4.
keyboard, and that was about it.
pack of children.
But there were a lot of sounds on that keyboard, pretty set, which sounded really cool together.
Uh-huh.
So we have some trumpets in there, we have some synthesizer, we had some guitar effects on the keyboard, which nobody bought as a guitar.
Well, wait, can I say something about that? So I went back and I found like a notebook of like my old lyrics and stuff from those days that I see like.
Oh, you wrote the lyrics.
I wrote. Yeah, we all wrote.
We
the
all
lyrics.
shared that
Yeah.
I think Jake wrote more for Ephes.
yeah,
Everybody had a hand in the
I
pot.
did. We all did. Yeah.
This is
No,
a
but
real collaboration.
No, like I remember seeing just like at various points in like the lyrics, just like in parentheses it says guitar solo. Knowing damn well none of us played guitar at that point.
This is very reminiscent of stuff Bryan does.
Yeah.
Right. No, it's
No, I'm like, yeah, no,
Guitar
Aidan's
gets
gonna
loud.
like, yeah, Aidan's gonna hit a few buttons on his synth and it's gonna sound kind of like guitar.
The problem with the album
Very
is the
optimistic.
synthesizer sounded almost too clean. Like, it would always be like very just like on the beat, just like the same like synthesizer loop, and then none of us knew how to rap or really stay on a beat.
Oh.
And it just
That didn't
did-
stop
We
us
were-
from trying.
We had like a
also,
garage
like-
band sound on the vocals, and
Yeah.
we did not know how to mix it.
Yeah.
So.
Can
We were
people
also
listen to
all,
it?
like
Yeah.
mid-puberty.
You can actually, if you go
I
on
have some
YouTube.
CDs.
It is on
also.
YouTube?
On YouTube, there's a playlist on my channel.
What do
Ethan
you got to
Goonhorn.
search to find this?
It's private right now, right?
It's
No, not it. The
On
Yeah,
Bandcamp.
original
I'll
album
flip you
is
a
still
CD. I
there.
have a few
Okay.
CDs
One
up in my
track
room.
on
Alright.
Bandcamp.
There is
one
one
track.
track.
They
There's
also
a-
don't have a
yeah,
way to
that's
play CDs anymore. Which is
There's
sad.
at least four videos of us performing live on my YouTube.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And we will be releasing a 5-year anniversary
Alright.
vinyl. perhaps.
I think the 5
Press
because
a
I think
few
we
on.
released it
Yeah,
like
it's
April.
past 5 years.
No, I think we put it out 2017.
Yeah,
I
it
think
was early
April 2017.
2017.
Yeah.
I was 16.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
But the thing is, it was like all recorded like, I think we started in like 2014 or something like that because we started and then stopped. And
Well,
then
because we
just
never
started,
recorded
stopped.
really anything.
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
We had the idea,
It's
and then the idea became a dream in 2017.
Right.
When we
Yeah.
dropped a mixtape.
It does serve as a beautiful purpose to, no matter how bad you think East Hall Corner is, it provides a beautiful counterbalance.
we got
to
so much better.
Well, it wasn't that at least.
Just a lot of growth.
We
Has a
went-
single person told you the East Hall Corner was bad though?
no,
not
I'm
yet,
just
not
saying
yet.
if you feel that way, for us at least.
The
it's-
album's
it's
also
easier
not
for
out
me to
yet
understand.
right now. So it's
Yeah.
but no, it's,
Yeah.
there is
Epilepsy.
one.
The
Epilepsy
opening
is a
track
single.
has gotten great reviews at this point.
Yeah, it gotten some love from
I
that.
hear.
It's good.
Yeah.
Wait, so just to like bring that to a close, which story was the right one?
It was mine.
It was.
Yes.
Oh,
It
so it wasn't. Was that a
not.
lie?
It was.
Okay, so
It was a bold-faced
the-
lie.
So yeah, it was mostly a lie. There is a blog that is like that, but it's not called Father Forgive
And
Us.
all of which
Oh.
has a little bit of truth. So before I got here, I was going to change my story a little bit because we actually did break a mic stand.
We
at
did,
one
yeah.
point, which we don't know how happened. Like, we were like twisting it, and like the entire mic stand just snapped in half, like
Yeah.
through the metal, and we don't know what
Oh.
happened.
Yeah,
And we felt bad about that because it was my father's mic stand.
yeah.
So,
David just needed his.
there's a little bit of truth in everything, but Ethan had the truest story.
Gotcha.
That's it. I did not know that was.
I'm
the
glad that was
reason.
clear.
It was
Oh,
this, I never
yeah.
knew. What
And you knew this, Bryan.
Also
Hello.
You
to
didn't know
tack
that?
on a little bit.
That was news to you.
To tack on a little bit, it also came from because it's the opening line of.
Yeah,
the
it's in a
song Can't
song.
Breathe, yeah.
Also, worth I didn't mention this. I just got my second shot
Oh.
this morning, 10
wow.
a.m.
This
They
morning.
called me yesterday trying to reschedule it, asking if we could do 2 o'clock. I said no, and now it's a race
No,
against the
sir.
clock until I start
Sure.
violently vomiting. So
Start
we're gonna
falling
get in as
as
much as we can.
well.
So everyone here got their vaccine.
Everybody's
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Vaccine checkpoint.
Vaccine
Everyone
check.
got
Vaccine
their
check.
vaccination.
All right. So I got Moderna. Who got Moderna?
I got
I got
Moderna.
Moderna.
Oh,
All
everyone.
whoa, the whole crew. What about
The
you?
band
Yeah, I got the Johnson
supported.
& Johnson. I got Johnson & Johnson because I'm not gonna get 2 shots.
Brian's not having
Like
kids.
fucking-
Out of your
what are you, a
mind.
loser?
Get out of your damn mind. Thinking I'm getting another shot.
One
I
of-
didn't
one
even
of-
get sick. I didn't get sick.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's why.
Well, that's
I don't know.
good for you.
My blood clots feel good.
I have a friend who has a theory that like as we kind of procreate now, all of the Moderna people are going to create a race of like mutants. And then like there's going to be like the Pfizers that are, and there's going to be a war
It's gonna be
between
like a Romeo and Juliet. Where there's
A Romeo
like
and Juliet.
There's 2 houses and they fight.
right, but there's 2 young ones that fall in love.
Yeah.
And the Johnson & Johnsons are just weirdos in the corner.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they're people.
They-
But I
that-
feel like
that
they're
dies
the
out.
master class though, because like, at least me, like as a Johnson & Johnsoner, like I was ready to suffer and I didn't. But like in that getting ready to suffer, I feel like I got stronger. So.
You learned a lot.
Yeah.
Like the background's just Shane. Remember Shane from The Walking Dead?
Oh,
Everybody,
well,
yeah, he's my favorite. Okay, so how did that band, the one we were talking about, turn into
EFSM.
East Hall Corner? What transitioned it?
So, EFSM, we dropped the mixtape, but we never really tried to like promote it at all. Like people
We did
didn't
not.
really know when we dropped it. We made a few discs and we were
Which was
like,
good.
"Hey, we have an album out," and we gave it to like 10 people, and that was like it. And then we kind of had hopes of making a second album.
We started because didn't we actually record a track?
Yeah, we had a few tracks, mostly like I made a few tracks on the side before I did like my own rap stuff, but it was intended to be another EFSM album. But then like Chubbs started learning how to play the guitar, and like I started more like playing the piano and actually learning how to play instruments, and we kind of turned our back on the rap rock supergroup.
Right.
We'll release some B-sides to Father
There are
Forgive Us.
some
It'll be
B-sides.
they'll be all rap.
And I kind of was focusing on my side project because in like 2018 I made like an album that I never put out because I'm kind of a perfectionist with my own stuff, because like I don't know why, like it's only me, meaning I should just make it exactly how I want it to sound.
Yeah.
And when something like, oh, I don't like that note or whatever, then I just never put it out. But I had like a first album I never put out before I made Mom Van Music, which didn't drop till 2020. So
Right.
we
And
were
then-
always making music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but I
then
think
you two
just
got
A
involved.
lot of unreleased.
It just the birth of East Hall Corner was just when
New
Me
Year's
and
Eve
Aidan-
2019.
we all went
That's
away
what
and
it was.
decided to just start like actually playing music. And I think the more we got away from it, the more we were like, maybe we leave the
Angle
rap to Aidan. Maybe we actually try
Yeah.
Yeah,
Place.
that's
And
cool.
I think what I was only just thinking about today, actually all three of us were on a youth group trip, and there were like 2 guitars at that building, and me and Chubbs kind of started playing guitars, and like I showed Chubbs how to play like a little riff I made on it, very like tiny. And then he used that riff
Yeah.
to make the lead riff of Epilepsy, actually.
Wow.
Like, at least that's what he told me was the story.
Wait, Chubbs, have you
Um,
have you taken guitar lessons at all?
I have, yeah.
Oh, you
So
have?
I took guitar lessons for about a full year, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Up until quarantine, basically.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. And did you take lessons too?
I never took lessons for anything. I'm
Well,
You're all natural.
All natural.
Yeah, he's a savant.
Well, your dad taught
Maybe-
you
maybe it's
drums, right, a little
Maybelline.
bit?
Well, I mean, he didn't play drums either. It was
That's
kind of like a.
And then, Jake, you have training and like plays and stuff. Have you vocal training?
Projection.
I mean, I did do like a tiny little bit of singing and plays and stuff, but no like formal training.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's more just like I like.
This is
getting
all
up and-
raw here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
Raw
getting up
emotion.
in front of people and just like making a fool of myself. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's great. So when was this all recorded? Was this over quarantine? You said?
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, the last summer was. If last summer hadn't happened, it probably would not have been out. Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
we set aside like at least 2 weeks where we were like, we have nothing to do these 2 weeks. Let's just every day in the morning, like 8 o'clock, get over to Aidan's house and we'll just record. And so we did that for at least a solid 2 weeks.
Yeah, like the daily recording day, we would
Yeah.
get up to my house, we'd like record a bit.
Go to Burger King.
Then at like
Burger King.
lunchtime, we'd go to Burger
What a
King,
mistake.
$1 for like 10 nuggets. We'd usually
Was that
get,
the
like-
move for everybody? Nuggets?
Oh, everybody. We usually
everybody.
get like 80 nuggets or like 90, I forget.
Onion
and-
rings?
No, we're
just the nuggets.
Ain't got money for
Uh,
that.
yeah.
$5.50.
Well, I never got why Burger King was the only fast food that had the onion rings. Why didn't Wendy's ever do that?
That has confused me.
Yeah. Wendy's probably could do it. Dave, he never lets you down, you know.
But boy, did it kill our momentum.
Oh yeah, they
Every
did.
day,
With the-
that
we would
be
get back
the
at like
end.
2 o'clock. We would like be grinding 9 o'clock to 12. Be like, maybe we go over to Burger King. We record like maybe like one more song at most after Burger
You got
King.
sleepy?
Oh yeah.
It would have.
Yeah.
It would
Although
have-
I think it needs to be said, New Year's Eve 2019 was a. I think
Freestyle
I think
night.
if we didn't have that night, we probably wouldn't have the album.
Well,
So
tell me
Eve-
about this night. Yeah.
So, Chubbs' younger brother Colin, he got a tiny little drum kit for that Christmas, and so we were just kind of in their basement, just like while all of the real adults were like just having a good time upstairs, and he just started playing the riff, which I don't know if you had written the riff prior to that.
Is this
The
the first day
Epsilep-
or is this the second day?
Epilepsy
I-
rip?
No,
There's
it
so
was
many
the
days
riff
that
to
we jammed.
Susan.
Okay.
The song Susan,
I
which
think
is
this
the
is
progression.
technically the second
okay,
day.
second day.
Which might
Well,
be the best
But
song.
anyway, regardless, I think that night, because we also had the drums with us, so like we were kind of we just kind of freestyled it for a bit, and we ended up with.
And the
most
drum
of
set
the
did
song
not
Susan.
have a kick pedal. So
Oh,
I
yeah, it
had
didn't.
a
Wow.
drumstick in my hand.
It did,
going
yeah,
like
he was-
that.
He was just like
and,
flicking back and forth.
and
It
it
was
was
aw-
a
and it was
good
awesome.
time.
It was awesome.
It sounded great.
Yeah.
Ingenuity, yeah.
Not to like go back on that story, because that story did happen. That was when we started like
That was the
playing,
fake story.
like drums.
That was the face.
That was like the first day like we like tried to actually make stuff happen. But there was a prior day when both of you guys and Ian were at my house. And Ethan was playing the guitar, and that was just raw freestyle because like he would play that. That's when like we created the chorus for Susan, because I was just saying some random
Oh,
just
you're right,
stupid
yeah.
stuff into the microphone that cannot be repeated. But at one point I go,
Until
Susan,
today.
let me in, and some other stuff. But then we kept the Susan let me in part and made a track, and I'm pretty sure you showed us Epilepsy then too. I'm pretty sure those are
Yeah.
the two songs we kind of
Might have been, yeah.
freestyled a little bit there.
That's great. So without that night, this wouldn't have happened.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think after that we kind of like reignited kind of like that joy for like just writing stuff and just like goofing around. Because I think like a week or two after that, Chubbs came to us with like, I think it was the riff for Time, and I think Us for Stuff. The opening riff
Yeah.
to Us for Others, at least.
Yeah, those were definitely the early ones.
And a track that is not on the album. Remember, like the talking track?
Oh,
What
yeah.
that was?
There's another
That
track
too.
that didn't make it.
Unreleased.
There are a couple tracks that didn't make it.
Yeah. Is that
Not
the,
every,
is that
not
the
everything
creepy one?
made the album.
There
Something
was
creepy
The
happening with it?
Coheed sounding one.
Yes.
No, not that one.
Yes,
that
that
Well,
was
that one as
Okay, yeah.
well.
There was something with a creepy, like a hidden creepy sound, right?
The demon voice.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
That was
that's
cut.
That made
was
it onto
in
the
that.
album.
that's a different.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all over the place right now.
Gotcha. Well, also we should talk about how we were sent the album too. Which is, I thought that was a little funny.
It's roast 8 an hour.
It's roast time. I was at work and I got like zing, zing, zing. I got like 15 different emails. Aidan has shared a track with you, and then was this like 2 days before the podcast?
Yeah, this was Tuesday, right?
Yeah, Tuesday, I'm pretty
So
sure.
you, just so you know, you can actually put them in a folder.
This was news.
and you could actually share the folder, and you could order them the way.
And I told Aidan that in the group chat. I was like, why are you sending it like this? He's like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, you could just put it in a folder. And he gave me like this big, like, listen, buddy, that's high tech.
It's high tech stuff.
It was.
High tech.
I mean, it still worked. We were able to listen to it. But
Make it work for
that was
you.
funny. I had to
Yeah.
roast you.
I appreciate
That
it.
is
just
I also
like
think it's funny that I'm meeting you on air right now.
That is
Yeah.
true.
It's
This
the
is
only
the
way to do
first
it,
time. We
honestly.
did not script any of
No, that's
so.
great. That's great. Should we just get into it as far as?
Heck yeah.
Let's just do it. Yeah.
Also, I was curious. What program did you record it on?
FO Studio.
FL Studio. Okay, cool.
Not an Ableton guy. I had it briefly. Was not a fan.
What don't you like about that?
Well, also I had it prior to FO Studio, and it was really confusing. But my older brother, who makes music but doesn't really release it,
Yeah.
he had FO Studio, so he could actually help. Like, oh, I know what I'm doing now. Because I was not a fan of reading books on how to actually do it.
Yeah.
I need someone to show me because I
That
was not going
sometimes
to
is
take
more
the
helpful.
time and read that.
I guess what kind of stuff were you guys listening to? What influenced it? And
Music and movies.
oh, you know what? Yeah,
Music and movies.
Movies is a band, so
It is, yeah.
Oh, nice
got
callback.
influence.
Hey, you wanna start and go this
I
way?
hear the influence.
I mean, I guess I could. Well, I mean, Ethan did write the majority of the lyrics. There were like a few choruses where like me or Jake would like sing something. We were like, "That's catchy," and like that was kind of not like that wasn't like, oh no, it just like sounded good. It wasn't like, oh, these lyrics have meaning, really. Like the chorus for Epilepsy, like the hey, lift up your glass, whatever. Like I was just like saying random stuff right then. It was, again, Chubbs was just freestyling on the guitar. I didn't really take that from anything. I was like, oh, this sounds kind of cool. And originally the song was going to have completely different lyrics about like drowning a dog. We did cut that out.
Whoa.
It was a dark song.
You wrote that.
Well,
you
yeah,
wrote
I know,
that,
because I would just freestyle random.
And I don't like dogs either, but
I know, yeah, it was.
I don't
Hey, now.
condone that. I wouldn't have.
Well,
said
yeah, because
that.
that's the obvious one. Because the single Epilepsy is.
Jake would have
did-
dipped.
I did write that. It's based on wow, the leaf just fell on Kevin's head. But I wrote Epilepsy based on an episode of The Twilight Zone. I forget what it's called, but
That's
it's
like a nice.
it's the
like,
Was
famous.
William
Sunday or
Shatner in
something
it?
like that.
Yes,
William
I
Shatner
believe
was in
so.
it.
I
Oh,
believe he was, because it's the one where the
I think it's a
guys
nice
in the
place to visit, I
afterlife.
think
It
it's
might
called.
be. Guy in the afterlife is being shown around by this assumedly guardian angel, and he's got unlimited power. He can have whatever he wants. I think he was like in life he was like a thief or a petty criminal, and so he's like gambling. He has anything he wants, and then like quickly it gets boring for him. He can't lose in gambling. He can't like he's lost the ability to feel emotion since he's in this place where he's entirely created a reality, and so it's like it ends with the famous line of who told you you were in heaven, which ends the single.
Chills.
Yeah, but that was it's
a good show.
It is a good show. I really like Twilight Zone, but I think that was the only track that like start to finish it was like based on something. Like every song is influenced by different things.
Well, so the song I wrote like the lyrics for mostly. So Tell Me Why, that wasn't really based on any band or any movie, but that is like the big theme of the album. That is just like kind of in doubt, because I mean obviously a lot of like 20-year-old guys, we go through that a lot. I'm like kind of in between churches currently, and I was like, okay, and that song actually means a lot to me, because I was kind of feeling those lyrics when I was like writing them. I was actually at work when like the lyrics came into my mind without a tune, and I kind of wrote down like the chorus and like I think the first verse. And then when I got home, like I started like playing some chords in the guitar, and my older brother was there. And this was like a year ago. I have gotten far better at the guitar, but like back then it would be like I would play a chord and then it'd take me like 10 seconds to move my hands to the next chord.
Oh, yeah.
So I was kind of like, hey Ian, just like play these 4 chords for me real quick. And then that's kind of how I got everything to thought out. So we actually did give him credit on the album too, because like he kind of like added a little bit of like strumming at the end, which...
Yeah, I
gives
really
you
like
the
Tell Me
track.
Why, because I think it really does again.
Where does that fall on the album? Is
Track
that
6.
Yes.
6?
Because it really does embody that whole thing of like Christian
It's-
angst music, but and the lyrics aren't like incredibly deep or anything, but I think just the simplicity of them, like basic stuff, like if God is full of love, how did hate start? Like just stuff that like isn't incredibly profound or anything, but just the acknowledgement that like these are questions that Christians still have.
I wanted to like attack the point right away, like not with like allegory, because we weren't really trying to hide anything. It's like, hey, this is kind of how we feel sometimes. We're going to tell you exactly how we feel sometimes. Like, okay, why does this happen? Tell me why. It's very straightforward. And to me, that is the most meaningful song of the album, but also obviously because I wrote the lyrics, they would mean more to me. I
Right.
imagine,
Yeah, the
even though
personal
Chubbs
invested
and Jake did write
interest.
some other like really meaningful lyrics too. But I was just going through a time when I wrote that, and the only other song so Bury Me is kind of a weird song.
Oh yeah, we were talking.
Because it
Bryan and I
was
were talking about that one.
Yeah, it was recorded after the album was deemed finished, but I just like came up with like this chord riff
Yeah.
that I just really liked it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make a song in one night, and that entire thing was in one night, and the lyrics, the entire vocal take is one take. There aren't like pauses in between. It was kind of just like this one thing I did, and like, because I remember texting the guys, I was like, guys, I have something, like I'll be back in like an hour or two, and then I sent it to them. And
What track is this again?
track 5.
I have them listed by number.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh yeah,
cool.
track 5, and like it feels a little bit misplaced, But I think, well, I got really used to it being there. I guess it'll have to be to the fans to see if it like feels misplaced.
Oh, I listened to it and thought it was like, oh yeah, this is part of it.
It just felt weird to us, obviously, because we had the track.
You're so
list,
used to it.
And then I'm like, okay, guys, here's another song. Can we put this on the album?
So you're like the wild canon of the group.
Yeah. There are days where I don't do
cannon.
anything for the band, where I'll just sit there and just like record them doing stuff, and then they'll go home and I'll be like, guys, I just made a song. Can we put it on the album?
Yeah. So
every band's got to have one.
Yeah.
The thing about Bury Me is, so it was finished. I was at school when he wrote, recorded, and like produced.
You literally couldn't stop him.
I didn't touch it. No, he texted me He texted me one night and like sent me the song. He was like, "Hey, what do you think?" And I was like, "Oh, this is sick." And then he was like really apologetic. He was like, "Can we just put it on, please? Like, we need to make the album longer." And and I was just like, yeah,
the label says it needs to be 40 minutes.
I don't. From the way your text
Mm-hmm.
sounded, it sounded like you were just like, I'm not trying to like replace you as a singer. I just love this song. I'm like, no, this song's sick.
I felt like.
Oh, so you like it too?
Oh yeah, I think it's sick.
Because like we kind of finished the album. There were a few not heated moments, but there were some frustrating moments to like get like the timing of like the vocals right.
That's on me. That's on me, 100%.
So there were a few timing issues which I did not want to like have to like splice together. Yeah. Which we did in the end. But like we weren't like angry at each other, but like then he went to school and then I wrote this other song and I didn't want him to feel like I'm just gonna sing a song now and pretend I'm the singer of the band. So I felt bad, but it turned out and it is on the album.
I always thought that song was like the Octopus's Garden of the album.
Honestly,
maybe a hot take, but that's probably one of the best Beatles songs.
I like to be.
I don't know the next song. But yeah,
you don't know the
song? Goes over my head. Like I know the song, but
no, I mean I think Octopus Garden gets way too much heat.
Didn't Ringo? Yeah.
It has an incredible solo.
It's a good song.
Ringo beat the Skins, right?
Exactly.
She did beat the Skins.
You're darn right he did.
Yeah.
What does Aidan do?
Aiden beats the Skins.
You sure did.
There it is.
Great.
Yeah, I mean it's tough whenever you put a song on that not everyone has at least worked on in any capacity.
Yeah, I think
like
that's...
it's not as much that we didn't want him doing something, but it was just the fact that none of us got the chance to like play it or do something like, oh, maybe we try this, maybe we try this. It was just like pure straight out. But I do think now if we had touched it more, the point of it being on the album is really as like your sort of passion project that I think it would have just frustrated us more to try to understand what you were going for rather than you just getting it out.
I really like where it's at and I like how it turned out, so I absolutely have no issues with it.
Yeah, no, we can.
Is there any other?
I'll just quickly name my band, and then we can pass it to Chubbs real quick.
We're ready. We're good.
Oh, it's going.
We're going.
Go for it.
Okay. So Kevin's original question was, what music and movies were you watching at the time that influenced you? I was watching a lot of horror movies because I've kind of entered that phase where I don't watch anything except horror, which is weird.
As you should.
And that didn't really influence me that much, but I was going through a weird phase of listening to more rock music when I am usually just like a 90s hip-hop guy. And like I like 80s synth pop. And then it was this weird time, a lot of Amberlin, AC/DC, and Bob Dylan.
Bobby D.
I think that's the guy. He does the Times Are Changing, right?
He's the guy with the curly.
Yeah, because he was on the Watchmen soundtrack.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I love that movie.
That's a great
So I was like,
movie.
who is this Bob Dylan guy? And he was pretty good.
Who the heck is this new?
And you know what? He's still putting that tune.
The times they are changing.
Yeah. My favorite song
Check
on
that
my favorite superhero movie. So I had to give him a shot.
Yeah.
And he
That is
made
like
me
what.
happy.
I had to give Bob Dylan a shot.
Listen, if Watchmen picked him,
He got like a Nobel Prize, didn't he?
I think so.
I think he
yeah.
did.
Probably.
I think so. Yeah.
Congrats.
United.
Yeah.
Congrats, Bob.
Hey.
I always said
Jewish,
you were gonna go places, Bob.
Oh, and Jimi Hendrix.
And
And Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, you were going off of that Jimi Hendrix for this.
Yes, you were. What else were you listening to?
Yeah.
Or watching?
I think for me it's definitely more watching. I don't know if other people feel this way, but with music especially, I feel like since I listen to a lot of older stuff more than newer stuff, I try to, when I'm writing stuff, isolate myself a little bit, just in the way that like I really want to avoid not plagiarism, but like, you know, being influenced to the point where I'm regurgitating something I've heard. And especially because I know if you're like an incredible guitarist, it's not a problem for you as far as listening to stuff that will give you inspiration. But like when you have a smaller skill set to work with, I think it just works better to sort of creatively work within your bounds and craft things that you're not like trying to be like, oh, I want to make this sound like this song or make this sound like this band. Like, just try to find a way that it's creative enough that you're not feeling like you have to live up to anything.
Gotcha.
But lyrically there is one. The intro, the first line of the intro, is a
First line of the album.
The first line of the
Into
album.
the Pit.
Into the Pit. The first
mosh
line
pit.
is from a book, which it's a book called Scythe. It's a dystopian future novel. It is a teen novel, so be warned. But parents,
There's a lot of cursing.
Don't let those 12-year-olds read that. They're not
Suggestive.
teens yet.
There's balls in it.
And it's not like an incredible book, but I did like that line because the whole theme of it is like, when humanity conquers death, there has to be paid executioners by the government that take out a certain amount of the population, and that line stuck with me as far as I thought that was a good way to begin the album thematically, especially leading into time.
Yeah, Into a Pit is a fun song because I don't know what the lyrics are about. So when I listen to it, I'm like, oh, this is kind of goofy.
Yeah.
It's ominous with that acoustic intro, though.
Oh, yeah.
I did.
Oh, it's so good.
That's when we wanted to relish the ominousness.
I love that.
And
especially.
we deliberately left the metronome in that track because we gave it like a cool like sound in the background, like a clock kind of.
There's a lot of metronomes and a lot of count-ins. A lot of
1, 2, 3, 4.
So
Yeah.
I like
style,
We love it.
The
We
thing
love
is,
it.
It's
it's
that raw
not a
emotion.
perfectly produced album, and I feel like leaving in like the clapping at the beginning or like the sticks or whatever. I think it just makes it feel more like we're not trying.
It's
to
very
make,
honest.
Like, I like it. Like, yeah, we're like in a garage or like a basement or whatever, and we're just making a rock song. And I didn't want parts of it to sound so clean that like the rest wouldn't fit in.
Yeah. Well, what's track 10? Because
Track 10, Above the Stars.
there's like clapping at the end of it.
Yeah.
Like
Where we like it started
That was
like
the
clapping like we were on beat.
Yeah.
I think, and then we just started just like going off, and we were just like, hey, let's
Just cheer.
leave.
Yeah, Brian, we know a little something about that.
We ended we sort of did the end of the Swish mixtape, our first Throw Loads mixtape. We had like this empty space that we couldn't fill up, so we did like clapping with us too and the studio tech, and then we kind of went along with it before the coda that ends the album.
I don't know why we needed to fill space, but I think more people should do that though.
Yeah.
So it's good.
I love it. I think
But we should get royalties every time that they do that.
Yeah.
That's your signature
Clapping was
move.
our invention.
We'll give you guys a little bit of our stream revenue.
All right, give me that 25 cents that you make in 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for like in terms of vocals, there was some inspiration. I think the song "I Can't Breathe," which I just pulled up the track, was track 7. I think that one, it's kind of obvious that there's some Rage Against the Machine inspiration, which I don't think there's anything wrong with, because
Oh, I completely jacked the breakdown from Rage.
Rage
Honestly.
Against the Machine, yeah.
Yeah. The breakdown of the Chugs is
like the bridge.
Yeah, see, Brian and I were thinking Corn for that.
Okay.
Well, that's because Korn is sort of the thinking man's Rage Against the Machine.
It really
It's
is.
a little more sophisticated.
White collar.
A little bit more.
But yeah, that one, like the vocals.
Just picturing a guy in an office.
Just plastic cord inside his face.
The scatting. Not enough scatting on this album.
That's one thing we could not amend.
Yeah.
So so you were listening to that for that.
Yeah. So I've been on like a 1.5 year long Bayside kick, like the band Bayside, and you can hear that on. So the song "Above the Stars," track 10, we changed up the vocal pattern a little bit, kind of courtesy of that was another point of contention for.
I think that was definitely our most contested song.
Yeah. Which
The synthesizer was not in the song
The
originally.
yeah, it was originally just like
a really
pissed off when I
did
heard
Yeah,
it.
no,
not like
yeah.
it.
What track name is this number?
10.
Above the Stars.
So that's 10 still. Okay.
Yeah. So
'Cause
that Chubbs
Because I
is
remember
not
that it was
happy.
like one night that they went in together and recorded, and I'm just sitting at home when I get a recording, and just now there's synth in it, and the vocal patterns completely changed, and I was pissed off.
Oh no! See, I can't imagine.
I don't
it without
remember
that. It was
what
very
the
bright.
original sounded
I have come around to it now, but just the initial like.
Yeah, he was not happy.
It's so sunny. And, like, bright.
It is a lot more
Happy
sunny now.
sounding.
Yeah, but yeah, so that one I think there's heavy bass side Anthony Ranieri inspiration.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm trying to think of others. I know Epilepsy, we were kind of trying to figure out, we have like a demo of it where the vocals kind of, they're just very bland and it's kind of just like I'm very monotone, so I was kind of trying to figure it out. And I think I kind of tried a little bit to emulate blanking on his name, Head Automatica and Glassjaw, Daryl Palumbo, kind of just like with a very like big like shouting vocals a little bit, over enunciating a little bit. So that's kind of Epilepsy. I was kind of a little bit trying to emulate Daryl Palumbo on that, which I think it doesn't sound really obvious, but I think that's good. But yeah, so that's
Yeah, I did not know that.
those are some of my inspirations.
Well, I was just wondering how
That's
many
cool.
times you guys watched Digging Up the Marrow, like in the past years.
I mean,
At least
I'd-
5.
At least,
At least
yeah,
5.
around, yeah.
You
It's
watched
so
it
good.
more in my basement or Aiden's?
Your basement.
Yours. The
yeah.
first time
Well,
was
the
my
first time was
basement,
yours,
which
yeah.
made it scarier because my basement it has like a glass door and has like windows like high up, which is
It
like
also has
ground
a-
level because it's like it's on a hill, so it's
It
kind of
also has a sensor light on the deck.
And
So when the sensor
Yeah.
light goes off, you don't know.
we do
why.
get wild animals.
You got hella
Okay.
cats too, like
Yeah.
that just like walk around. So
So.
That's cool. That's a great movie. I only saw it once in college.
It is a
I
good
should
watch.
rewatch it.
Rewatch.
I don't know. We'll see.
It
We'll
gets
see
better.
how
I think it
I'm
gets better
feeling.
The more you watch it.
I feel like it'd be surreal watching that as I'm sick with shot.
That would be surreal.
Oh, I feel fine. Yeah.
I just watched a disappointing Rob Zombie movie. Surprise.
Which one?
Which one?
The second one, not House of a Thousand Corpses. The
Oh,
other-
I hate
Devil's
Devil's
Rejects.
Rejects? Did you see 3 from Hell?
I have not, and
I
I
didn't
will
either.
debate whether or not I will watch it.
Well, I mean, if you want to, have you watched any of the Rob Zombie
I've seen
movies?
no Rob Zombie
seen a few.
films.
They're
You seen
not
it?
terrible. It's just like it kind of feels like you're watching like an off-brand Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, he was
and
really
I am not a fan of those movies. Like
Yeah.
I like 1, maybe 2 of them.
right. In fact, he actually in an interview, Rob Zombie said that House of a Thousand Corpses was like supposed to be a cross between Texas Chainsaw and guess what other movie? Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh.
I wouldn't have gotten that.
That's what he said. He loves that shit
I was
because it's
gonna
all
say,
theatrical.
The movies that he made that are good are like Halloween 1 and debatably Halloween 2.
Yeah, debatably.
Have not seen
things
them.
about Halloween.
Loomis is hilarious in that one. But actually, top tier is well, Lords of Salem. I think is top tier. I love.
Probably his best movie.
His wife is hot, so I will watch it. To be honest.
Wait, so the reason his movies are all that grimy is because he was a carny. I don't know if you know that. Like his mom was a carny,
Oh.
so he was spending time around carnival people. So that's why he's so
Kinda
fucking enamored
cool.
with them. Just, like,
Right.
makes-
What else
makes
is
his stuff-
What else is a good one that he did?
None.
What are the other ones though?
If there are other
Halloween.
ones, 31 was gone.
31 was bad.
Yeah, that was one of the worst.
Right.
Anyways.
A little off topic.
Yeah.
It's
No,
always
it's
worth-
fine.
I just wanted to know what the count was for digging.
For digging up the
Yeah,
mirror.
Digging Up the
What's the
Mirror
final
is a
count there?
classic.
At
At
least
least
5 since recording the album. I would say, if anything, it was higher than lower. Than
I think I'm at 6 because I showed somebody at school
Mm.
that movie. So yeah, I had those 5, and then that's it.
Right.
That was my question. So.
All right. Yeah.
Do you have any
go.
other
a good
questions,
question.
Brian?
Yeah.
We actually, speaking of questions, we had a caller in here. Somebody call in. John McClure
Uh-oh.
came in
My
with a
man.
question.
What's up?
And this is a good one. I want to hear Brian's answer to this too, but it's Kill Bang Mary.
Well, I don't even know Mary. Wait.
Yeah. Wait. Who's the? Yeah. Hold
A
on.
very John
And then
McClure type
I'll
question.
finish it. I want to let you guys settle down a little bit. Kill isn't it's supposed to be all right. We'll do the PG version.
Kiss
Kill
Mary.
Bang.
Kiss.
Hold hands with.
Hold hand. Well, yeah.
Who would you kill? Who would you drink a bang with?
Kill Bang
and
Mary.
who would you-
Ready? Kill Bang Mary. Monster. Rockstar. Rain. I don't know Rain.
Rain is bad.
You can't. You have to marry. You
right
gotta
away.
marry Monster.
Yeah. You got to marry Monster.
Monster's
That's-
bringing in the
Bang
big bucks.
Yeah. Monster.
Wait,
really-
why would Bang not be part of this?
Wait, which
Energy
were the
drink
3?
Bang. So, because it's Monster, Rockstar, and Rain.
That is confusing.
Do we want to
Bang.
answer this individually?
I would say you. Wait. What?
Do you want? So Jake.
You need to come up and
So
consensus.
you have to
I think
marry
you have
Monster.
to marry
Monster has the
Monster.
money.
Big guy?
The thing is,
And it's also just
notoriety.
consistently
Monster
best.
is always there for you, even though sometimes it'll disappoint you a little bit. But you guys get back together every time. Next week, okay, you just have a different flavor.
You can't have a one-night
Also
stand with
sponsors
Monster.
corn. Monster.
And I think you kill Rain.
Well,
Rain's gonna
100%.
go out anyway.
Rain I
It's
can.
gonna-
Yeah, Rain I think I could definitely live without.
So you kill Rain?
It's not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah.
I've never heard of that energy drink, Rain.
Yeah, you're
It's
not
spelled
going to.
I'm gonna- yeah.
R-E-I-G-N.
So I'll give Rockstar a little.
They have like
smooch.
two.
Oh, I would definitely
Yeah.
smooch with Rockstar. It's very
Yeah.
good.
So what's the deal? What are you gonna kill? Kill Monster?
So we're
No,
gonna
kill
marry.
Rain,
So
kill
we're gonna
Rain.
marry Rockstar.
You're gonna
Or
marry
no,
Rock-
marry
Marry
Monster.
Monster.
Marry
Marry-
Monster.
so
Marry
alright.
Monster.
Hard to say.
2 M's. Marry Monster.
Marry Monster.
We're gonna bang smooch,
Rockstar.
make premarital eye contact.
Rock the cradle with Rockstar.
Yeah, we're gonna rock
Exactly.
the cradle.
And then we're
Don't
killing
call,
Rain.
Don't call it a cradle.
Edit that out.
Delete.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta go.
We're gonna
yeah.
get intimate with Rockstar.
All right,
then
and then
we
kill
kill
Rain.
Rockstar is
Yeah.
a sort of up and down. You can get a wild ride sometimes.
So that's the word from EHC. What's the word from V over here?
I would probably go similar. I mean, Rain's pretty useless, so I definitely. Oh, marry Monster just because they have like the two best energy drinks. I think are the blue Monsters, like the low carb and the zero
Yeah.
sugar, are the two best. Energy
I would
drinks,
agree.
So might pop one of those open later, given that this just sucks.
Huh?
You were drinking a Monster.
Hydro.
Hydro.
I actually, I'm gonna differ from you guys. I would.
Oh.
Well, I've never had Rain, but I'm gonna take your word
That's
for it
true.
that it sucks. So I'd kill Rain. I would bang Monster and marry Rockstar.
That is respectable.
I think
Yeah.
Rockstar's always been there for me.
It's a very personal.
One time, Bryan, this always stuck with me, but Bryan one time said, he was like, "Oh yeah, if you're worried about drinking an energy drink late at night, Rockstar won't keep you up. It'll take you to bed."
And then you like what I would do in college is if we drank Rockstar, I would wake up the next day feeling incredible, amazing, well rested, with energy and purpose. It was amazing.
And I did too. And part of that was the belief that you gave me.
It
So.
shocked me. Like the other thing was like when we were talking about it, like Amp was a thing, and that was more sugary. This was before
Amp is
people
still a
cared
thing.
about like sugar. They didn't have so many sugar-free options, so it was like you kind of had to.
Yeah.
And like comparing like Green Monster, which we didn't have on campus, so it was just Rockstar and Amp. Like it was like if you drank a Rockstar and went to bed, you were fine. If you drank Amp, no, you couldn't sleep.
Right. Just days. Up for days.
I appreciate that kind of like witch doctor
Yeah.
role that I have with you.
Yeah, you are the witch doctor for me.
The witch doctor
I got another question for you guys. These are all silly things. Is that all right? So, East Hall Corner gets its big break, and you could share a big show with 3 other big bands, and you have to choose.
So we each pick one. 3 other
Haha,
good bands.
Thrill Village.
That could it could be anybody.
Yeah.
You know,
Thrill
you could-
Village, movies, and EFSM.
I can't play in 2 of the bands.
You could.
I could.
You
and
can
I
do
will.
anything you set your mind to, Kevin.
No, I want to know.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And there's no limits. It could be any
I
band.
can-
What, Dead or Alive?
Here, you know what? The only
They're
thing
alive.
here, I'm gonna limit you though. It can't be a band that's like obviously in the past.
Okay.
You can't pick like Led Zeppelin.
Okay. We
I
don't
wouldn't
want,
have.
we don't want 80-year-old
I'm gonna-
Jimmy Page up
Right
there.
off the bat, I'm gonna put Amber Lynn on there.
Amber Lynn.
Okay.
That's a big one for me and Aiden and I think
That is true.
Chubbs.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I like Amberlin.
It has to be a rock band.
It could be any band, and they don't even have to make
Onyx.
sense together.
I would love to do a song with Run DMC if they ever.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah,
Wait,
okay,
wait.
No,
Are
they're
we-
not playing with you.
Yeah,
they're
they're
playing,
not-
you're
Oh,
sharing.
that's
You're
true.
sharing
Like,
a
we're
bill.
opening.
So I wouldn't want to do a show with them because they would steal the show from us because they're just too good. So I would want like a good mid-tier band. Let's think.
This is a tough one.
Onyx.
I would say in Berlin, as Jake already said.
So we got them playing twice.
I'm big.
I mean,
with
Yeah,
it.
Amber Lynn gets
2 sets?
Yeah. They're playing for like 3 hours.
Yeah. I'm torn between either a band that makes more sense or just a fun song. Because the fun one, I would absolutely love to tour with Carly Rae Jepsen.
Oh,
Ooh,
Wow.
I
Like,
wasn't expecting that.
That would, ooh. She would obviously close.
yeah.
But then probably I would be down to tour with Emarosa as well.
I'm
I feel
I'm
like that would
picturing
be-
all the people that would come for Carly, and they get you guys. and
Exactly.
that would be so funny.
Like, it doesn't make really any sense, but just
Here, let me just slide into some DMs.
The one
real
time I
quick.
did see Carly, there was no opener. It was just her playing at a like festival.
she doesn't need an opener.
And it felt right. There was no
I forgot
walk
that
music.
you
She just walked up and started singing. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I forgot that you had seen her.
So we have Carly, we have Amber
Amberlynn.
Lynn, and actually I would say Hollywood Undead.
No.
No. I say no to that. Yeah.
If I
Fine,
had
you
to
can
pick a
take-
you can
band,
take Amber
I've
Lynn.
seen them live in the Houston House of Blues.
You guys could meet in the middle and say Insane Clown Posse.
I
Medium for
that
you
would be
guys.
kind of.
I would get
goofy.
a
That would be
Juggalo tattoo.
Hatchet Man.
Hatchet man.
man. Well, if we wanted to go genre,
Foxy Shazam.
we could. The thing is now, or
I mean, but no. The thing is, they're gonna play the they're gonna play the classics.
Coheed and Cambria.
okay.
I like Coheed.
We could.
I don't like new Coheed though, so maybe not.
Well, that's the
You have the
thing.
ability to tell them what songs.
Oh, that's true.
We set the track.
Just
All right, listen, Coheed.
Afterman.
Listen,
Listen, Claudio.
we know we're opening for you.
Yeah.
You're not opening for me.
I'm opening for me. Okay, great. Let's move on to the next one. So I actually had one more in that similar vein. So East Hall Corner gets its big break once again. You get sponsored by 3 major brands on your next world tour. And who sponsors you?
Gotta be
I think
Monster,
Monster's
right?
a given.
Monster's a given.
I don't think you could do Monster because they give corn.
That's
Well,
true.
if-
Corn.
If I can be associated with corn in any way I can,
The thing is, as much
could
as I
pick
love
Monster, it's fine.
Monster, I feel like Monster is kind of like a
Normie.
redneck. Well, maybe not redneck, but like it's like the NASCAR drivers. They
He
rep
doesn't
Monster.
mean it. He takes it back. He doesn't
Yeah.
really mean it.
And
We
like
do-
it's like
we
a
do
big
Rockstar 'cause
NASCAR.
Well, we don't want to be involved with
Rockstar's
you
like,
either.
you go on Rockstar's website and it's straight up like it's rappers.
Oh,
not
they're
Rockstars.
Also,
Let's just
Rockstar.
say
Your
Rockstar.
website
Yeah.
is unmanageable.
Yeah,
It's the worst website I've ever been on.
Get it
Who's
together.
going on their website?
I go on there to
The
like.
other day.
I want to see like, oh, is there new flavors coming out? I just scroll down and like the back
It's
stays,
like a forum.
but it's still going, and it's just like little baby in the background looking at me intensely with a Rockstar in his hand.
Oh, that's incredible.
Oh yeah, no,
I
it's
thought it was like a little baby, not
Yeah.
like a little baby.
no, it's like
No,
literally
it's
they
not
have
a
a
little baby.
They're called Rockstar and they don't have like a rock band. It's,
Yeah, I
it's
would say
literally
that.
they have
It's
little
like
baby.
NASCAR
It's like NASCAR and then a rapper. So it's
Yeah.
like which is like
And corn.
and corn.
well no
Yeah.
Rockstar not Monster.
They have corn
Rockstar.
too.
Yeah, I would
Oh,
take
they have corn
Rockstar
too.
over Monster for.
We're gonna do
Monster.
Rockstar and we're gonna
Chill, I guess we get
yeah
to
we're
ditch
gonna
that.
make
I'm
Rocks
saying.
we're gonna make
Ours.
Rockstar bigger.
I would think so. All right, Rockstar's on board. Who else?
Rockstar. I would be down.
You're a big
Amazon.
You're a big yeah, if Jeff Bezos
I will
gets
give
a stamp
Jeff a
of
front
approval.
row
Just immediately
ticket.
cancel.
I was gonna say,
My show.
you're Chubbs. You're a big Converse guy.
I could see
Whoa.
Converse.
Yeah.
Well, because then there's a reason to that then, because then we all wear Converse, and I feel like anything that we would wear on stage could go with Converse. I think we could make it work.
Because it's game over for any other shoe. You can't.
It is.
No more Vans.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
No more. No more.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
I'd
else?
wear Vans if I want my shoes to
Timberlands?
break during
No
the
more
set.
Timberlands.
God. No Timberlands.
Yeah, but Converse, no support. It's like wearing.
I have
socks.
never worn a pair of Converse in my life. I will be honest.
They always look good.
I'm
It's
a
the
big
same
Vans
thing as
guy.
Vans to me.
It's neutral.
I'm still.
I
a
don't
big
wear
Vans
Vans
guy.
anymore either because of the lack of foot support. Like they were just giving me like shin splints. Like there's nothing down there, so I kind of just wear like Nike, maybe Adidas once in a while. But
The thing with Nike is like I feel like we would have to work hard to find a cool Nike shoe that we could wear.
yeah.
Like with Converse, like what is not going to go with white or black Converse?
Yeah, I
for
agree
you.
with
Nike would have a like EHC line.
Custom shoes, yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Along with Drake. Yeah.
I would trust Converse more anyway.
Yeah,
Drake
I
loves
would.
Nike.
You better
Wait,
believe
why
he
do we
does.
throw away
From Drake
like
and Josh.
Timberland? Like what? We could just wear Tims on stage. How dope would
Do you
that
That
wanna
would be
move?
really.
Yeah.
That would be pretty hard. Yeah.
That would be-
Or what are the Soulja Boy shoes?
Oh yeah.
Wait, what are those?
We just like
I want
Yeezys
everything
on
to do
stage
with them.
actually.
All right, so I
Let's
bet
do it,
you should do
right.
Converse.
Yeah, let's
I
go
would
Converse.
think we would go Converse.
I'm down with that.
So Rockstar, Converse.
Rockstar, Converse,
You got one more.
and then
You got a lot of money coming in from
And
this.
Jeff
It's great.
Why not
Bezos,
money?
yeah, he put his
And
stamp
Je-
of approval right on us.
Well, you would never run out of money.
Yeah, exactly.
Ever.
That's
never
true.
run out of
Jeff
money.
Bezos.
Money
And,
would- money
would we
would
be a
corrupt you.
fool not to choose like a music thing, like sponsored
Like
by
guitar.
Long Van Records.
no,
Wait, what's that?
like Yamaha, get a couple guitars.
Oh, that's true.
I was gonna say that one like Wii game that what's it?
Ultimate Rock.
Ultimate Band, yeah.
Oh yeah, Ultimate Band.
Like rock.
I don't think
Get
that's
sponsored by a Wii game that we bought for $89.
We could be sponsored by Nintendo, and then they can make an EHC game.
That's
okay,
a good idea.
Yeah,
I
it
would
already
do that.
sounds like a game.
Hey,
Yeah, it
Yeah,
already
it does.
EHC, it's in the game.
It is a game.
It is a game.
What is that from though? That's definitely from something.
EA
That's,
Sports.
wait. It's the Pullout King. It's like I
EA
am the Pullout King.
I am the pullout. Oh yeah, that's
It's Portlandia with Jeff Goldblum.
right. So we settled that. So if you guys were to get really big, we know exactly where we're going.
Oh,
here.
yeah.
We're
You know
going
where you-
right
you know
for
what's happening.
Converse
What's
and
the
Jeff
first
Bezos.
tour stop actually?
Gotta play
So-
Philly, right?
Well,
Yeah, the TOA.
TLA.
yeah.
Theater of Living Arts. That's my favorite. Well, it's a venue I've gone to more than once. Like every other venue, it's like a one-time thing for me. I go back there once in a while.
Right.
For Anne Berlin.
Yeah. I really
I feel like
liked,
Philly crowd wouldn't let us down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
No,
I-
they would take
Energetic.
care of you.
Yeah. I really liked Reverb in Reading. I really liked
Reverb
that.
is good.
Yeah. Saw Set It Off in Emerosa.
I
there.
kind of like the idea of doing it outdoors.
Yeah. I was so.
SeaWorld.
SeaWorld.
Yeah. So nearby here in Catasauqua, they have like a summer concert series, and I emailed the lady, like the head of it, and she was just like, "Yeah, we can like get you on the thing for this summer. I'll just send you the."
Don't tell them what you had to
information."
email her.
Whoa.
Yeah, Mary Beth. Well, she never got back to me.
What?
After emails. So Mary Beth.
Mary Beth.
Mary Beth,
Yeah,
let us play. Come on now.
that might happen. That's good.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's more.
Is
of a-
are you guys set up to play live if you like if you
We're
got
not.
asked?
Well, that's a-
I think we're ready.
Well,
we
we'll
have a
figure it out.
drummer on hand that can.
We do have a guy who
All
could
over
drum
that.
so that because a lot of songs have like 2 guitars or synthesizer,
Yeah.
which I would probably do that. Then
We've
we
got
would
at
have
least
a guy
a
playing
guitarist
drums.
and a drummer that we could bring along.
It sounded so much like you were about to get 3 different answers that were very, very at ends with each other.
Just
So,
no.
You get no,
yeah.
yes, and
It was
maybe.
like maybe no.
No, we're absolutely.
Yes.
It would be
We're ready.
great to play live.
I actually
at
like
any-
just
at any
DM'd
capacity.
them like in their group chat like a week ago, being like, "Hey guys, I hope you guys are ready for a show because
Oh, yeah.
like I want to at least do like a live show, like live stream on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like next week."
Because it seems silly to like the fun of playing our songs. We haven't really had yet. Like having a full band to play a full song instead of like bits and pieces of music coming together.
I hear you too. I want to play live too. It's been a long time for everybody.
Yeah.
So I guess is there any like specific songs we want to talk about? Anything like that?
Yeah, there's some fun ones.
Which should we? Yeah, let's.
Can we dish on Susan?
You don't. Can we dish on
There
Susan?
is
Susan
one
was the
song on
first.
the album.
Susan
I had one
wa-
note. So Susan, Bryan, and I both love this song. My only note on it is, was it track 9?
I think it's
Track.
that
So
sounds about
Susan
right.
too.
Yeah, Susan is
Who?
track 9.
More like track ass.
Hey now.
Susan has a bad rip. Among us.
So I said, my only
Okay.
note is, who is Susan and what did you do to her?
She's a hot mom.
Oh, we did a lot to her.
Okay,
But,
wait. Can I say it?
Mm-mm.
Do you mind if I say it?
Say
Or
what?
I do.
No,
You do
don't
mind?
name drop
Okay.
anybody.
I'm not gonna
Oh, don't name drop.
Well, we
I'm
already
not-
said
it's not about that,
Susan.
but
I will not bleep it out.
I'm not gonna say it.
That's
I'm not gonna say it.
But yeah, I mean, Susan was a song we wrote in one night, pretty much. So we wanted to do a pretty prototypical love song. Susan was, we felt a funny enough name that we have someone I think that we all think about every time we do the song that is named Susan and that we all know, and that got.
Whoa, just-
Okay.
Someone else.
You know what? I'm going to tell
Oh.
the story. So, there's a woman in a church in the Lehigh Valley. I'm not going to say which. It might be ours, might not be. But she got. So we used to have. This church used to have an assistant pastor, and the assistant pastor's kid was in our nursery, their nursery, and Susan spanked the kid without the permission of our youth pastor.
And you guys were like, I wish I was that kid.
That is exactly what we said.
Yes, Kevin. You picked up on it. It's about a
It was
hot
like
mom.
he was watching Digging Up the Marrow with us. It comes up a lot.
Brian's just breaking sticks over here. Like an angry child.
I love Susan break a stick. Anyway.
Yep. And that's how it
good
came
thing I was
about.
far
By the
away.
way, whenever I hear the name Susan, I think of George's fiance in Seinfeld,
Yeah.
who dies.
It's just your prototypical hot mom, you know.
That's great.
Yeah,
her
the
na-
song
her-
was a joke.
Her name is not
Yeah.
Susan, actually.
No.
You changed names
Nah,
to
yeah,
protect
yeah.
their
Mhm.
To protect
identities.
the identity. Okay, here's
No, yeah.
well. Okay, here's the
But
thing
the thing about Susan is it was the first chord progression song we had.
It was the first full song we had. I
Full
think.
song.
Really?
period.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it was the first chord progression I had written.
Yeah.
And so we played the heck out of it. Every time we would jam, we would play it like for 10 minutes straight.
Yeah.
This
you were
was
tired of
the
it.
first band night. This was even before the New Year's Eve. It was like Chubbs was playing that, and I said a lot of offensive stuff.
You really did.
But it all came around to Susan every
Yeah.
time. It would come back to me being like, Susan, let me in. And then we were like, we'll keep that part and then just make it like this joke love song. And like, it was really funny, but like, we heard it so many times, like it lost the like amusement to us, which hopefully you guys actually do like it and aren't just saying it.
Oh no, we do.
And
But-
musically, I really do like it. I mean, I think
I think it's a
the,
good
the
song. I'm
refrain
surprised.
It's
is
the
good.
strong. We think it's the strongest.
It's got the second guitar part in it too.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah, guitar
is
part is
very
cool.
good. Ethan added that a lot later. That was like during like the second like re-recording of everything.
Yeah.
And like Ethan was like, "Oh, here, let me do this," and we liked it a lot. To me, the song just feels incomplete to me because like none of us knows how to play the bass, and there's no drum on the track.
Is there any bass on the album?
Yeah, I Can't
Yes.
Breathe. I
That's
Can't
just that
Breathe
one?
has
Just that one.
some bass,
Yeah.
and I like some keyboard, like Epilepsy. There's like a bass sounding like it's more of like a synth, but like it's really deep to kind of fill the void
Yeah,
above
yeah.
it. But like, I mean, none of us know how to play the bass,
And that's the challenge.
yeah.
I mean, like that's why I think a lot of our best songs are the acoustic songs where it doesn't the
require.
yeah the lack of bass isn't a problem.
That
Right.
said, if I had a bass, I would just do that instead.
yeah,
because like
absolutely.
at the beginning of the album, like I will be honest, I don't know how to play the guitar. I just understand how music works, so I understand how like patterns of like strumming and like chords. Like I just understand how the patterns work. I feel like I could do the same with the bass, but none of us own a bass.
Right.
so
You gotta get. That's the
we just
step
use
one.
like a
Yeah.
keyboard for the effects.
step one.
But
Yeah.
it sounds pretty real, and I Can't Breathe.
Yeah.
I was happy with that how that turned out.
Yeah. The other thing about Susan is I think Bryan has the recording of it. Over
Dugout session.
yeah the
Dugout
dugouts
session.
the dugout sessions
Good
over
time.
quarantine when we were kind of like in the earlier stages of writing. And we didn't really have that many songs. I forget. So like we basically didn't want to like hang out in a person's house just because the whole pandemic thing.
Mhm.
So we ended up. There it is. Yeah. We went to like a local like park right near my house and it's like a baseball field, and we went into one of the dugouts and we just kind of jammed for a
That's
bit.
awesome.
So
Mhm.
and
You
yeah,
should have
there's
done the whole
recording of
album like that.
it. That would have been We were
Live from the
could.
dugout.
Yeah, we were
Live
thinking
from
about
the
like doing a
dugout.
little bit of. I know Aidan and I briefly talked about like doing like a little video series, just like the dugout sessions,
Mhm.
just do like 5 or so songs.
And we
Oh,
are
yeah, yeah.
thinking about doing an acoustic version of Epilepsy because Jay created like 2 different artworks for the track.
Oh yeah.
And one of which would work better for like an acoustic. And also at one point during like an Instagram live, like watch the boys play like 3 songs outside, we only had like an acoustic guitar outside and we did it. And we kind of did a little bit differently, trying to make it more like slower and like spooky. And we're thinking about just doing like a little B-side someday of like a few acoustic songs. But
Yeah,
That's
because
cool.
the energy goes when it goes to acoustic.
I like the story of Susan. The
Story of Susan is
the
a good
narrative grabs you.
And a
It
hot
does,
mom.
yeah.
The hot mom.
and
But
it is a long song, and there was even more of it.
really,
Yeah,
there's
there
more.
was.
Yeah,
There were
there
verses
was.
Is there
we
more
cut.
to the story?
I think we might have written an end at some
We
point.
did, yeah.
Where
There were like
The
5
intimate scene had to get taken out.
Intimacy.
Yeah,
I
we
just-
had to make it a PG album.
I like how you go dating with somebody else and it doesn't work out, but
yeah.
it's a breakfast date, which I found very interesting.
That's what we breakfast date this time.
Because like
Which
We
is doomed
also,
from the start.
Shout
It
out,
is.
shout out to the voice of Susan.
oh yeah,
I don't
my,
want to dox her, but
oh,
Aidan's-
yeah.
my
Aidan's
girlfriend.
Shout out,
we
you know
caught
who you
her
are.
one
for the
day.
part when the phone.
Yeah.
Me and Jake were in the studio, and I just texted my
Oh.
girlfriend. I was like, pick up and say your name is Susan, and I just held it to the microphone,
It was really fun.
and it worked.
Because I think we did like 2 takes. In the first take, she was like, "Hi, this is Susan."
Yeah,
Like she was
it
really
was
confused sounding.
which would
That would've
kind of
been
be
even better.
funny.
Yeah.
So
actually.
funny, yeah.
This is
It was
Susan?
really good.
Right.
When we
Yeah, that was-
I'm Susan.
Yeah, that had to be one of the more fun ones.
That was
if
good. So
not-
that actually and Flower Power, one of my favorite.
I love
my
love
favorite
Flower
moments.
Power.
I'm glad people
Flower
like
Power
that.
is great.
That is to me one of the songs I forget about sometimes, just because we have a few songs that are like 1 minute and like 30 seconds, and they kind of blend together to me. Cause like Man in Gray, Flower Power, Pirates Cove, and In the Days That Follow. So we have like 4 like really short songs, and like I just sometimes forget about them. Despite
But
recording.
I think they're all unique.
I
like
think
them a
every
lot.
song on the album holds up, even though like we dish out on Susan a lot. At least me and Jake do. But every song on the album, there are times when I'm like, hey, this might be the best song on the album.
Yeah, guitar-wise, it's one of the more complex chord progressions we have.
That's why I liked it. I thought it was kind of.
I like the lo-fi vibe.
I wanted to talk about Pirates Cove, but I had because I had a note on it that was only for Kevin, not for these guys. But it's like when I heard it, I was immediately thinking that it was like the 8 Days of Hell. If you remember that song on So Divided by Trail of Dead. There's like that like drunken song. It's like
Yeah. Like everybody's cheers and
I don't know if you remember that song, but it's just like
swashbuckling.
a 2-minute song on like a longer album.
Right.
So but it reminded me of that. So I thought
That's
Reminds
good.
me of at World's End, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Ah,
Caribbean.
which is
I am a
Big-
big,
big fan of that.
I certainly find those mermaids quite interesting.
They do interest me.
What's the deal with the mermaids?
I just love something about mermaids.
The mermaid in the lighthouse.
Oh,
That's that movie. Did you see the lighthouse?
I have
Yeah, fucks it
not.
up.
On my list.
That's good. I was gonna say Man in Gray. Was that named after that movie that you lent me documenting the Gray Man? You remember that? It's a really bad horror movie that you. Who got that first? I think you got it, and then you gave it. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was bad. It's about an urban myth or legend, and what's some state
No, give that
or
back
something.
to me. You still have
No.
it.
I'll keep it. Besides, you're only Blu-ray now. You're DVD Edge. But yeah, what's the influence behind the Gray Man?
Yeah, Man in Gray was written. It's
Man in
one of
Gray.
Man in Gray. Yeah, it's the gray is sort of the closest I could get without being too on the nose with like the theme of it, because it's about a convict that is now returning to civilization, and he's rejected by civilization. So I didn't want to like the man in black and white, like prison clothes, the man in orange.
There's some
Like-
gray uniforms.
And I thought
probably.
gray invoked a little bit more of the sort of, how he's, ostracized from society now, and he's sort of living in the gray. And I thought that was kind
I
of
didn't know
cool.
that. I'm learning more about her songs every day.
So it's not about documenting the Gray Man.
It's
just
not,
for clarity.
unfortunately
Okay.
not.
And I also feel like if, as a band, we had a color, it would be gray at this point, because we're still, like, the entire album's like this doubt, and to me, gray is kind of like that in-between, like, doubt and color, which I kind of thought is what you were going for, but
Oh,
I'm glad
I
you
mean-
had another story
That's really cool.
behind it.
Can we go back to Pirates Cove? What's going on there?
Pirates Cove was a fun one.
That one's just
That was one I wrote the rhythm guitar,
yeah.
and well, that I didn't even write that.
Yeah, you guys just kind of
we were just
started
jamming.
and that was originally gonna be just like an interlude. wasn't it?
There were a few songs where it was just like us jamming, which
Yeah.
didn't make the album, like Robotica did not make the
Oh,
album.
that was a fun one.
Robotica.
Yeah, well,
That was our
we'll,
synth song.
Maybe album 2.
Wait,
Who
did
knows?
anyone see that movie Verotica? The
Mm.
Verotica, the Glenn Danzig movie. Oh man,
Sounds he
it's
like a ride.
the worst thing ever. He made a movie. I know Aidan likes Danzig sort of, but he
Oh, yeah.
he made a movie after being like a avid horror movie fan all his life, and it's like he's never seen a movie in his entire existence. It's so I knew it was bad going into it, but it's way worse than I thought it was.
It always comes back to Danzig.
But Robotica or Verotica, that sounds.
It may be
Yeah.
album 2.
Yeah.
But like Pirates Cove, like Chubbs just like started doing like the acoustic guitar. I happened to be having the electric. I think it was on electric originally.
Yeah.
Like
it
Chubbs
was.
just had it plugged in, and then I started doing the electric. And we didn't have the lyrics written the first time. I think
No.
Ethan wrote
I
those,
wrote those-
a later day.
Yeah, and the lyrics are a little. It's one of the more on the nose songs, but it's sort of like, if you know the Beatles, it's like Piggies, which is a
I do
song George
not.
Harrison wrote about, like capitalism and like the high society high society people being cannibals and like eating the poor people.
The Green Inferno.
And so that's why it was comparing politicians and like upper class people to pirates, and to specifically politicians. Like, what are the lines?
I mean, going low is all we know.
Going low is all we know. There's
George
no other
Bush.
way. To get ahead, you must succeed.
You gotta go low to duck the shoes. But you said something about society and like all that. Who was it that was trying to put society on at my house?
Your youngest brother really wants to watch it.
Did you also watch it?
No, he hasn't watched it.
Have you
yet.
seen it? Though?
I have not.
Oh my god! But you know what happens in it?
I do know what happens in it.
Okay. But it's sort of similar to what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing about that song, I think, you guys wrote the riffs, and like it sounded like a pirate thing, and then so like the band name is already a Five Nights at Freddy's reference.
Yeah.
Pirates Cove is another location like in the mountains.
Oh, got it.
Because Foxy,
Foxy comes from there.
and he's a pirate. He's a pirate
Foxy's
fox.
a pirate. And also
Fox pirate.
Fox in the hen house, you know.
Fox in the hen house. Yeah.
Yeah.
So who's doing
It's-
the vocals on that? That's what I couldn't tell.
It's all
Everyone.
of us.
Oh, it's everybody?
at once?
And
Yeah.
we did it
Yeah.
separately.
I think
actually.
I think you two had like a pirate voice. I think I had a regular vocal.
Jake did a regular voice, and I was like, "This is not working for Pirates Cove. We need a pirate voice."
Yeah, well, I did two layers. I have a pirate voice and a regular voice, but I think it sounds really cool because like my regular like takes gets like really drowned out.
dig
Because Chubbs had like the real pirate voice. I kind of just did like another deeper pirate, and then Jake had like
Pirates
the good,
Cove,
like more clean
mini golf.
vocal. You can hear your
Well,
voice
because
a bit better.
I did two takes.
Pick your
I also had a
poison.
pirate
Yeah,
take,
and then like it
yeah.
all blends together.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
You know, like
vocals
the
were fun
last
to do.
hole of mini golf when like the hole is like the tube that goes back
Yeah.
to the. I
Oh.
always miss that shit.
Has anyone made that ever?
I have
Never.
gotten a free round at New Jersey, like at Ocean City, but I was like leaving the next day, so I never got to play it.
Let's go right now.
Let's go right
I
now.
I have the card.
What
somewhere.
color ball are you picking?
What color ball you going?
I call green. Who does the scream in track 2? The growl.
Let's
That was
try
you? Whoa!
Yeah.
Dude, there's something in the Deem clan that's just like.
we
it
like
runs in the
we
blood.
Like screaming.
So
That's
time is running out.
Time the end. Yeah.
To me, is the most underrated song on the album. I know it
Uh-oh.
hasn't been released yet, so
The
not
end part is
many
so
people
sick,
know
dude.
it. But like whenever like we're talking about our favorite tracks with like the few people who have heard some of the tracks, like nobody ever talks about that track, and like Ethan wrote like the entire like the guitar and all the vocals to it. But to me, like, I'm like, oh, it's deep, and like, I really like it, and like, I just like added like the droning one day because like it's like the whole like time is running out. I kind of wanted to feel like the same thing over and over again, and then Jake recording the scream was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Cause like we did a few different cuts.
Your dad was not happy.
Yeah,
He was just
Father,
like,
really
forgive
loud.
us.
his
And,
dad was like, guys, I'm trying to watch a movie. Stop.
he was trying to watch a movie.
Yeah.
I think
classic
thematic.
trade-off
Yeah,
when you're recording at home.
exactly.
Also,
And-
I want to say that this is gonna come out after the album's out, so
Oh yeah.
no spoilers.
Oh,
or
that's
anything.
true.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that this was like probably the most surprising song given what it's like and where it is on the track list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to start the album with these two more somber songs and then
Mhm.
go into the party songs.
Yeah. And I think thematically it's the one we agreed on the most, as far as it's 3 chords and 2 of them are very similar. We just wanted over and over a loop of again and again and again and again.
Mhm.
Nothing changes, even though the lyrics.
And there's a gunshot sample in it.
Yes,
Yeah.
there is.
I
That was
noticed
something
that.
that was also debated, but I'm glad we kept it in.
Yeah. There was also
This is
I
a
think-
real gun.
I forget if we got rid of
Yes.
it.
No, we didn't. The
Did
helicopter.
the helicopter sounds.
So at the end, we wanted this like, well, this is kind of what I wanted, and Jake wanted, and
Yeah.
Ethan was fine with it, thankfully. But, because like, so one day we did like the whole like the vocal take, Ethan's guitar, and like the drums, and then like another day, then we added like the scream. I added like the droning like before like they came over, because like I liked the idea of that. And then at the end, as like everything's building up, there's like this helicopter sample I found that I use. And now that you know that, you should re-listen to it and see if you can catch
And this
it.
isn't. It was in track 2.
Track
Yep.
2 at the
Alright,
very
track
And like
end,
I'm
yeah.
just like holding the helicopter sound slowly, turning the volume up to add to the build.
Yeah.
And then like it stops, and then the gunshot. which thematically it goes right into Epilepsy because it's right after
There
you
you
die.
go.
That's kind of why it's there,
That
because
is
it
what
doesn't
hurts.
quite
You
fit
die
with
and then-
Time is Running Out, but the gunshot, like, it's kind of like goofy and like it fits really well into Epilepsy.
Yeah, I think originally we had like a thought of like doing a clock, like an alarm clock
Yeah.
going off. But we thought it was
That's
a
too
little.
on the
That was-
nose.
that was
It's like
very
Pink
on the nose,
Floyd
yeah.
too.
Yeah. Right. And also, I have to say, I mean, we're kind of jumping around, but that moment in the last song,
Oh yeah.
you think the song is going to be one thing, and then there's that little drum fill.
That's a
and
great.
then who does that crazy verse?
Oh,
That was
you,
right
Chubbs?
here. The thing
that
is,
was me. That was
that's
freestyle as well. We did not
also,
write that.
well, it was censored too because
It was censored and-
originally. Yeah.
We almost got a PA sticker.
That's what we wanted to avoid it, so it did get edited once. But yeah, that was like that song we've changed completely.
I would listen to a whole album of just that.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was
yeah.
fantastic.
Because that song was originally all acoustic, all basically just what the beginning is.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm gonna. Well, no, the thing is, the beginning even changed too, didn't it?
A
or
little
the
bit.
chorus changed. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember like because that originally I was just like, the song's kind of just like there, like it's nothing like super interesting about it. It's just like a little acoustic thing, but it was supposed to be like longer than like a track like Man in Gray, so it was like, yeah. But I think we changed that. I don't even know how we changed it. Like I don't even.
We just
remember
started
what we
sitting
did.
down
We just
and
kind of just
playing.
like started playing it, and we were just like, wait a minute.
It's interesting. What's going on there lyrically? What's
Yeah, lyrically it's because originally it was just like another straight acoustic love song that we wrote, and it was about like
Ethan wrote.
lack of intimacy and like loving someone that like you have no connection to, and fixing a relationship with It's Not Too Late, like trying to fix a relationship that's doomed to fail. And then as it sort of went on, the lyrics took a different shape. I mean, it's still thematically the same thing, but with the addition of the last bridge, it's sort of, I don't know, if self-parody maybe, just the fact that like they're very melodramatic lyrics, I think, going
it's about,
into...
like, aren't you like dropping out of third grade in it? Or
Yeah,
something?
that's the breakdown. Yeah, because the breakdown is like so off topic and jarring. I think
Okay.
that's the power.
That's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels
I
like
like
an
it.
EFSM breakdown. It's just goofy.
Yeah, I don't
with a
want to go to mother
throwback.
effing business school.
business
Yeah, there
school.
was-
Didn't
that
want to
was
hate
the
on business
original.
school.
There
Yeah,
was
that's
originally going to be like,
Don't want to hate on.
tell me why Arthur was going to be explicit originally, but
Oh, yeah, that's
we
right,
did
it was,
decide
yeah.
that's just really not the crowd we're going for. Like, we're going for like a Christian rock band, but like maybe for like the more like
Well, 'cause we-
adult Christians who like, or like more like
And-
understand the doubt.
And
maybe
not
the
even
younger
like that.
kids.
Like we wanted it to be uncomfortable for Christians. We wanted it to be something that you can't write off as like a very conservative Christian, because I guarantee you, every single person, at least in our church, in our like, could easily
Your church. I have
Right.
left the church.
could easily write it off if it had any profanity in it, as like, oh,
yeah.
this is,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
not Christian anymore.
Yeah, that's
this is
true.
So we wanted it to be still as powerful, but I think putting profanity would be like cheapening the message a little bit. That said, I don't,
Yeah.
I think it did carry weight.
It would
but
feel
I think
like
the trade-off.
a shallow way of trying to make it feel
Yeah.
more adult.
Yeah.
Like, we're just going to add an
Yeah.
F-bomb and
Edgy,
make it
for
feel
sure.
edgy.
Yeah.
We do say damn once. Well, Jake
Yeah,
said that
I
once.
said it.
So
yeah.
we'll see the backlash.
I had a song about a milk, so like,
Oh,
Yeah, but
okay,
that's
wait.
holy. That's holy.
Okay, wait. Hang on, time out. Who
That's
doesn't
hella,
like a good
man.
milk?
That's hella.
Like,
Yeah, but seriously.
yeah.
Father,
plenty
priest,
of milks in the Bible.
Yeah. Honestly. Yeah.
mother.
Honestly, all the lyrics on the album, except for like a few like obvious, okay, this is a goofy song. Anything, yeah, Susan and like Pirates Cove, but like everything else is like directly religious. Like Bury Me, I know obviously because that is only the other song. I only wrote the lyrics for like the two songs, but that's religious. It doesn't really. Actually, I guess I do say God during it. Well, I feel like almost every song in the album, like Into the Pit, you could make that definitely religious. Time is Running Out, you could.
I was gonna say with Into the Pit, I heard like something cool there. I wasn't sure where it was going, but there was like this thing about like indoctrinating.
Oh yeah.
People
Make
make
disciples.
And I was
out of
very
Oh, yeah,
everybody.
excited.
Yeah.
I was very excited about this like anti-evangelical message that we were gonna get. But I mean, it wasn't where it was going. But I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah, we didn't want to make it like anti. It was more of, because the previous line I think is, sin fills the void within. It was
Yeah.
more about perpetuating.
That part actually like paused. I don't know if Jake would have meant this, but that part made me think of 9 Inch Nails. Like the
Really?
way it's like a very
I
like
didn't mean
stripped down, and he's talking about sin. and, like,
Yeah.
void. that's very Nine Inch Nails. I feel
Yeah.
like if anything, Aidan would have got that, but like.
I do get it now,
Yeah,
but I
you
would
can
never
see that.
actually thought about that.
It does
Sounds like
work
something he would
well.
say, like at least like
Yeah.
old school.
Uh-huh.
But anyways.
Yeah, and I mean it goes back to the same thing with like the whole we didn't want to be bashing Christianity anyway, just bad over the head bashing, just bad Christianity or wrongful. What?
Over the hedge.
Do not accuse me of
Yeah,
that.
if you bash
What's wrong with Over the Hedge?
RJ or
No, they're big
Vern
fans.
or any of the gang, Hammy,
I simply would not
Hammy.
ever do that.
you could throw
God.
something
Yeah.
out about
Just
the us
gibberish.
versus others, the long.
Oh, we could talk about us versus the others
you
for a
can talk that
moment
for a
because
second.
Yeah, you
Rather
could.
than
I'm
boring.
good, so you can go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
Us versus the other feel like I feel it's our weakest song, just in the way that like
That's the long one too.
it's
isn't
the
it?
long one.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess the ending is.
Well,
fine.
yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
mostly what.
But
I
the
was
riff,
talking
it's
about is-
that is actually one of the first riffs I ever like.
Mhm.
I think my guitar teacher like was like, "Hey, for your homework, just like write a song," and I was like, "Oh, I'll do this," because it was literally the only chords I knew. Because it was like a G configuration where you could play G, C, D, and E in the same like without moving. Your
just
hands.
gave it away. Okay. Now
Uh-oh.
everybody's
Oh,
gonna
sorry.
listeners
sing
at home,
that
you could
song.
play it now.
Yeah, you can play it now. But yeah, that's a really easy one. But
That's cool.
I think it works.
I would disagree. I think that song is more exciting now, because that was one of our first songs that like Ethan started playing for us, and originally I didn't care for it a lot. Like we had a lot of songs, and at first their energy was like, oh, Epilepsy and Susan, and then we had all these acoustic songs we didn't care about. But like during the end of like recording the album, like I've really started caring about like the acoustic songs, especially Us versus the Others, and the like long riff at the end that was freestyle. Me and Ethan were playing at the same time, which is why like my guitar's a little louder than his, which like obviously we would have tried to mix, but we just had one mic. Jake was on FaceTime while we were doing it.
Oh, yeah,
I
I
forget
was,
why
yeah.
we were talking to you before that. Like we were showing you something for like a previous
Yeah.
track, like we wanted to see if you were
Yeah.
cool with. And like me and Chubbs, we like started like playing, like we did it like one through kind of, then we were like, okay, actually let's record this.
Yeah.
And then we just kind of let it roll. And there are a few parts where like it squeaks really loud, like as like I go up the frets, which is a little regrettable.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
like
it's
it's
not
kind
like-
of, it's just like
It's not there to be like a technical masterpiece. We didn't write
Yeah.
any of it, so.
All right.
but yeah.
So what's next for the band here?
What's
Bryan.
next?
Oh, not that I was going to
Bryan.
dictate what's next. I just raised my hand because I also wanted to hear like, it's specifically in case it hasn't been said, like favorite and least favorite songs.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, go.
All right.
RJ.
I can go. So yeah, I mean, we just posted something on Instagram that we recorded like 6 months ago of saying our favorite songs. My favorite song now, I think, is "Into the Pit." I think that song is just so cool. Like it's fun to sing for me, but it's also just like the breakdown is so sick at the end.
Mm.
And then least favorite song, I think I have to say Susan, just because I think
Aw.
Susan, I'm just so tired of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's not. I don't think it's a bad.
It is
song
band
anyway.
bias of playing it.
Yeah.
You know.
And Ethan,
Wait.
do you want to go next?
It's banned. Like you guys won't play.
Yeah. No, it's we canceled it.
Yeah.
Oh,
if
it's
you ask us to
canceled?
play,
Yeah.
we
It's
leave.
not even out
We
yet.
leave the venue.
Yeah.
What's next?
Who's next?
First the hot mom, and then.
So I think my
Nice.
favorite song would have to be either "It's Not Too Late" or "Flower Power."
Oh, nice.
I guess I'll go Flower Power. Just because I think Flower Power was to me, lyrically and acoustically, the song I was most proud of putting together quickly. Like in theme, it's very simple. I was just like pulling flower stuff to relate to a story.
Yeah, I was gonna ask real quick what Flower Power was about.
Yeah. So it was about a girl. How could you tell?
Say nothing more.
Say no more.
Amen to that, brother.
Oh.
Wait, what's
You
this
know what
girl
I
a
mean.
mother?
It's like a Nirvana song about a girl.
About
Oh,
a
yeah.
girl.
Listen, enough said.
Listen.
Oh,
Listen.
We're gonna you
Not
mean
that
that song?
No, I hate that song.
I've never heard it. I don't like Nirvana.
Yeah, I love play it like because that's capoed up on the 7, so that's a very high, and like I said, all the chords are I think also.
What's your least favorite?
Not sure. My least favorite would probably have to be. I'm not gonna pick Susan. I think Susan is still a very solid song that I can listen to again and again and again. I think it's hard. I like them all, but I think Us versus the Others would be just the lyrics that I wrote since like the first verse. We'd never changed since I first wrote it, and to me, it's just very superficial and like. There's no subtlety in what I'm saying, and it's not an original thought or profound in any way that I sort of cringe when I okay, Us versus the Others. Again, I could have been subconsciously just ripping off Pink Floyd's Us versus Them, right? But
I would not know.
Didn't even think about that.
Well, you're not really a Pink Floyd fan.
No, but I like that.
it's a good song.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that theme is so overdone that I feel like if I could have gone back, I could have changed that. But like I said, instrumentally, I still really like it, and I think the ending is better now.
Least favorite for me is Susan. I mean, it is. I have not listened to that song in like a few months. I still think it's a fun song. It is funny, and I would like to do it live. It would be fun, but it's too long for me to enjoy, and it still has that weird, like, empty feeling to me. My favorite song is what I said on Instagram a few months ago, which I think I would change this now. I said Epilepsy, because that is, like, the most produced song. Everything fits nicely. I spent a lot of time actually, like, equalizing that song, like, a lot more than the other ones. But I think I would change that now just because, like, obviously I hear that nonstop now because, like, with, like, releasing it and everybody only knows that song, it kind of, like, I mean, when you hear a song 50 times, you kind of don't need to hear it as much now. Yeah. So currently, it's kind of two. I would say Time Is Running Out is the best song currently. Like, I love that song, but it's not as much of, like, a summer jam. Which in that case, I would say I Can't Breathe because, like, I love, like, putting the windows down, driving around with that song is so much fun.
Yeah.
So it would be those two. I think Time is the best song, but I Can't Breathe is the most enjoyable for me to listen to currently.
Okay, there you go.
I also think, just real quick, we didn't talk about it, but we just need to throw out there, that solo and I Can't Breathe, holy moly.
Best solo on the
Like, that's a solo, you
can
can just, like, kick somebody in the face to that solo. It's amazing.
I don't recommend it, but yeah, you could.
You could, yeah.
You could. It would feel good.
I think there's 5 solos on the album. We did a solo count at one point, and I'm pretty sure there's 5. But
All right.
you'll find out when you listen to
It's the
it.
extent of our solo.
So at this point, the album's out. What's next? What's down
Wait,
the pike?
Friday already? Shoot,
It's already
I
Friday,
was-
yeah.
I think
What's down the pike?
now that it's out, at least I feel like it's a lot of relief as far as, like, I don't think there's any pressure right now to get something out again. Because I feel like with all of our music, even like when we put out the IFSM thing, it's never really felt like a real thing until, like, we actually put something out. Like, we were working on this album for like 2 years of, like, jamming and prepping and doing all this stuff. And, like, even when we would be playing songs of, like, we really want to get this perfect, we want to get it better, there was sort of like the underlying, like, we just want to get this out. Once we get something actually finished and released, then, like, we can chill out and, like, think about what we want to do. But we, like, it has to be something we do. Like, we can't, like, not have an album out before we all, like, before it's harder to record
Back
stuff.
to, like, college again. Like, all of us are going to be doing college.
But I mean,
Yeah.
I've got material. I've got some songs. I think the reason why Aidan says Can't Breathe and Susan is, like, favorite and least favorite, because I think Susan represents where we started, and I think I Can't Breathe really represents, like, lyrically.
Because that song changed drastically, like, a few months ago. Because, like, it always was just the guitar and, like, the drums, and it sounded really good. And then, like, I was just, like, using a keyboard with, like, it's kind of like a harmonica type-ish sound. I'm not sure actually what I used. For the background, I added the bass, and, like, it became a lot, like, that was the last song I think I worked on, really.
And I think that's
feels like the
definitely
end.
more of our sound now. Like, going forward, those are a lot of the songs I'm writing now.
Oh, really?
Less of, like,
Well, there you go. It's news to you.
Yeah.
news to you. I
He
got
literally
some, like,
sent us some of
material.
that.
Yeah, I have
But
some. I
yeah.
have some stuff. But
We
yeah,
have some stuff kicking around.
yeah. But I think it's that more. I don't want to say metal, but Like just harder rock.
It's gonna be
I think
pretty
we
a
rock
lot of
harder.
hip hop in the next album.
Okay.
It's gonna be we're becoming a ska act actually, so just get ready for a lot of horns.
Yeah,
What's the dance that ska?
Skanking, yeah.
There's a lot of
We're
skanking
gonna be
going on.
skanking left and right.
All right.
Skanky leg,
We'll see. We'll see you at the next
Skanky.
Thrill Village EHC show.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
we be down.
I think we're definitely gonna put out some singles as well. Like I think that's the next step of like, now that we have something like a Spotify page, I think singles is much better, in the way that like, at least for us, if we can record a song, practice it, and then put it where we want it, and then just get it out, is better for us than like having these songs pile up and then we have to like, because inevitably there's gonna be like 5 songs that we're already bored of playing, and we're not like inspired to make better. So I think focusing on one song at a time is probably going to be our style for
Once we have a body of work out, we don't feel like we need to have an entire body of work before we put anything out again, which will be
more
more enjoyable.
now that it's out, I mean it's going to be more focused on what songs
and maybe
are
an
fun.
EP. Who knows what's going to be next? We haven't really talked about like necessarily what it's going to be. So like
we've taken
certainly wouldn't
completely
mind
off.
an EP.
Yeah, we could do, but like I think for the last like 6 months we've definitely taken off as far as like we haven't jammed.
Oh,
in a
you
while.
have.
Like I, I've been writing stuff, but like
Yeah,
I feel like it's been enough time that we can start.
we haven't played
playing
together
more.
in quite a few
while.
months.
Meeting of the
actually.
minds.
Meeting in the Minds.
Meeting of the minds.
There you go.
I think we have a question for you guys. Best favorite song and least favorite song. I think we want to hear it from the host of the podcast.
All right. All right.
If you guys, I mean, I don't know how many
I-
times you've heard it.
I've heard it twice. I heard it. I was washing dishes last night, listening to it with good headphones, and then I would listen to it in the car on the way up here.
It's more fun in a car, in my
I have 2 favorite songs. It's I think Flower Power and Susan are my favorites. Although I know
controversial.
I know it's
take, my
controversial.
lad.
You want that. You want people to have
Yeah.
disagree.
I
like
do
that.
want
I
that.
like those.
And then I think least favorite. I don't know. Let me look at the track list. Name some songs. Name some songs.
Into
7.
the pit.
No, that one was good.
It's fantastic. Is
Oh, that's your favorite, Brian?
Into the Pit and Susan. Into the Pit and Susan were my favorites.
Susan Love. Okay.
You know what? Us versus the Others. I would say maybe the least favorite.
Least favorite. Okay.
Yeah. What about you, Brian?
I'm gonna say as a challenge to you, because you said the next album will sound like it. I Can't Breathe is the low point, and you need to outdo that. So you need to do better.
Okay.
So.
Do better.
Okay.
Do better. Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, thanks.
Thank you.
Appreciate
For having
Oh,
us.
thank you for having us.
You served your country
You've
well.
served-
We'll see you in hell.
Wait, that's a bar right there. You serve your country well. Now I'll see you in hell.
Write that down.
Right,
Write
right,
that
right,
down.
right, right. It's definitely from some movie or something. Some zombie
There's no way
general.
that's not a real thing.
Yeah.
If it's
You've
not,
served your
we have
country
to
well. I'll see you in hell.
Now I'll see you in hell.
Now I'll
That's
see you
gotta
in
be
hell.
Megadeth lyrics.
Yeah.
It's gotta be like Holy Wars, the punishments due.
Yeah.
You'll serve your country well. Now see you in hell.
That's
Yeah.
my Davis State.
Dave Mustaine,
Dave
yeah,
Mustaine.
who's just really sad. He was kicked out of Metallica.
No, he's
Yeah.
the bassist.
No, Dave Mustaine was
Mustaine
kicked out of Metallica for.
Oh, Metallica, yeah, sorry. Someone was just kicked out of Megadeth.
Oh.
Their bassist just was. So that's why I was like, I had to stop you there before you got to Metallica.
Oh,
Before
yeah,
you-
yeah, yeah.
Listen.
Listen.
Listen, buddy.
All right, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time on the podcast.
And go listen to our album.
Harrow podcast. What was that?
Go listen to.
Oh
Father
yeah, I'm
Forgive Us
sorry.
on
I'm sorry.
Spotify.
Don't listen to
so,
it.
yeah, how do we listen to it?
It'll be
Anywhere.
on Spotify,
Spotify.
iTunes, right?
Spotify is it on
Spent good
Bandcamp?
money getting in on the story. So it's better
Is it on
than-
TikTok?
Oh.
It could be.
Could
I
be
was
on
given the
TikTok?
option. We'll see if I want.
Okay, well that's what all the kids are on
make
now.
some
That's
TikToks
true.
to our songs, yeah.
All right, it'll be on TikTok. It'll be on Spotify. Is it going to be on YouTube?
Oh yeah, it'll be
It'll
YouTube,
be on
iTunes,
iTunes?
Pandora,
Pandora.
Apple Music.
Apple.
All you Pandora listeners
Yeah,
out
all
there.
you
Dozer
Pandora
or
moms,
Deezer,
all
whatever
the
that
hot
one
moms
is,
on Pandora.
Is it going to be on Napster?
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
No, it actually
Just
will.
on
Good.
Is it gonna be on Pirates Bay?
Webkins.
Me. I hope not.
Pirates Cove will be on Pirates.
Pretty
Yeah,
soon
it
it's
is
gonna be on
Pirates Bay.
Amazon once we get that sponsorship.
Yeah, with
from
Jeff,
Bezos,
yeah.
So.
Big
Yeah.
Daddy Jeff will love it.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
All right. Peace.